Show and tell. G'day my lovelies and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Kathy and today I wanted to show you a few plants that I bought about 2 months ago. You might have seen some of them in the background of my videos, but I wanted to show them up close and personal and tell you how they've been doing for the last couple of months. Now the first lot of plants that I bought was from Westlake Nursery, who I have bought from several times, both online and from the nursery itself. They have absolutely stunning, beautiful, lush plants. However, they are a little far for me. I bought 3 plants from them, which they delivered to my door. They don't actually send them by post as such, which means that the plants don't suffer at all. Let's start off with the Aglaonmea, which you might be able to see behind me, called Hot Lady. I love that name actually, I thought it was great. Now, as you guys know, I do not have a lot of success with Aglaonmeas, but all my Aglaonmeas were small plants when I bought them. So I decided maybe what I need to do is try a larger plant. And when I saw this one online, I thought I really loved the dark green leaves with those pink lines to it. I know I'm not a fan of pink, but in contrast to the green, it looks gorgeous, and it is even more beautiful in person, I must admit. It initially dropped a couple of leaves. They turned yellow and died, and there is, I think, another one on the way out, but overall, it seems to be doing really well. She's getting medium light. I don't need to water her very often because she's in such a large pot, but she's still putting out leaves. So far, so good. But I'm not holding my breath because I know Aglaonmeas can sometimes do very well and then all of a sudden just start deteriorating. I'm trying to be very careful with watering, and I'm keeping an eye on it to see that if it's unhappy because I run the heater in here, and if it does, then I might consider moving it. But I love where it sits in my living room. From my favorite armchair, I can see it, and it is such a big splash of color that I just love it. She's a beauty, no doubts about it. She cost a little bit more than most plants I've bought, but I ended up spending a little bit more on another one, so in comparison I thought that's okay. However, I should point out too that I have noticed plants have increased in price, generally, not just the expensive or uncommon or even rare plants. I'm talking about just everyday varieties that you can find in almost every nursery or Bunnings. They all seem to have gone up in price to some degree or another. So I thought, well, that seems to be what the going rate is for some of these plants. And I decided to spoil myself because it was my birthday in April. So I thought, fine, I'm going to get some new plants. I don't know if others do it, but I always buy myself a present for my birthday. Anyway, I'm not sure what the price was for most of the plants, so I will be putting it in my description box below for anyone who's interested, together with all of Westlake Nursery's details. The next one, yes, you can already see her, she's in the frame. This is my Ficus Elastica Shiveriana. Look at the markings on her leaves. The speckling is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I am so in love with this plant. When I first saw her online, I thought, oh, I want this one. I really did. But because I already had 2 Ficus Elasticas, I decided not to get her. But recently, or 6 months ago, I decided that I'm not going to keep plants that don't speak to me, that I don't really love. And even though my Ficus Elastica Taniki was beautiful, it wasn't one of my favorites. So I did give her away. I gave it to my cousin, and I guess you could say this is the replacement for her. And I'm glad I did, because I can't get over how beautiful she is. She is just stunning. Let me just get her out of the way. She has acclimated really well to my house, but she is in my north-facing sliding doors, so she gets very bright light. I just noticed her stem is a little crooked, so I might have to stake it to make her grow more straight. I don't know yet. I kind of don't like messing with new plants. I like to give them more time to acclimate, be comfortable in my home before I do anything with them. At the moment, she is sitting somewhere I don't get to appreciate her all that much, which is why for the last couple of days I've just been admiring her from every angle, because her leaves are gorgeous. She really is a beautiful plant, isn't she? And from the Ficus Elastica range, she's quite different to any of the others. Now my Taniki, I actually did buy from Westlake Nursery as well when I went there, almost 2 years ago now. But I think I bought it because I just wanted another bigger plant in my home. It wasn't one that really spoke to me like this one does. So I'm very glad that I gave my Taniki away and that I was able to bring this one into my home instead. In fact, most of my larger plants I bought from Westlake Nursery, and I've never been disappointed. Their plants really are just so beautiful and full and lush looking. So if you're looking for bigger sized plants, definitely have a look at their website. Now I also should mention that their website is not up to date. They don't update it regularly. So it always pays to give them a call and see if they have the plant I want in stock. So this is my Ficus Elastica Shiveriana. Now the last plant. I have to admit, it is the most expensive plant I have ever bought, and a relatively small plant, but like I said, it was my birthday, so I decided to spoil myself. And I really wanted this one. From the first time I saw it, I think on Adam from Not Dude's channel, I thought, I have to get this plant. But it took a while to be available in Australia. It has been around now several months, but it's been very expensive. I think overall, I probably paid a fair price, but it's still more than I usually spend. And I shouldn't hold you in suspense, right? This is the reason I placed the order with Westlake Nursery. This is a black ZZ plant, or in Australia, they're calling them the jungle warrior. I absolutely love it. Look at it. She is stunning. When she first came to me, these new leaves, because they are new leaves, were lime green. They're starting to slowly fade to this much darker colour, and eventually they're going to turn into this gorgeous black colour. Oh my goodness. I just love this plant so much, and so far she's doing really well. And although a part of me regrets that I spent so much on her, as someone pointed out to me, and I think it was Miro, who knows, if I waited another year, she might be even more expensive, because let's be honest, prices are not going down at the moment, they are going up. All plants are going up in price. Regardless, I don't regret buying her because she's gorgeous and she's given me so much pleasure looking at her and looking after her. She's very easy to look after. She is just like any ZZ plant. You wait and wait and wait until they dry out. She's getting low light, maybe low to medium, but that's fine. She does not mind. These do not like a lot of light, and in my experience or in my home, they continue to grow. The other reason I wanted to buy her is that my poor Zizi, which I knocked over almost a year ago, has really never fully recovered. That had grown so much the first summer I had her. It put out, I think, a shoot that was so long, but I snapped them all when I knocked it over. And really, even though we went through another spring and summer, it didn't put out any new growth. She's looking a little better now, but I have been considering getting a smaller, just regular Zizi and combining it with her. But I will see how she does in spring before I do that. I think she looks a little better, but that might be wishful thinking. I don't know. But in the meantime, I decided, well then, I want a nice, healthy, beautiful looking Zizi. So I bought my Zizi Raven or Jungle Warrior. I'm assuming it is just a slightly different cultivar to the one that seems to be available overseas, but who knows? Regardless, she's gorgeous. Look at her. Oh, just stunning. I love her. And no, I don't regret spending $55 on this plant. But all of the plants I bought from Westlake were generally a little bit more expensive than I normally pay. But that's not because Westlake is pricey. They're usually much more reasonably priced than any other nursery I've been to. She is worth every penny. Or he. I don't know why I always call them a she. Now, the next lot of plants I bought from Verdun Dwellings, who I have bought from before. And I've even done an unboxing, my very first disastrous unboxing. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it somewhere up here, but I'll also put it in my description box below. They have really lovely plants as well, and I find them very reasonably priced. I also like the way they package their plants. They use all recyclable materials. The only thing I don't like is that most of their plants are in peat moss, but that's okay because we can always change the soil, right? It doesn't mean the plants don't do well, because they do. It's simply that peat moss and my home do not mix very well. And if you've noticed that my voice is a little hoarse, it's because I'm getting over a cold. And I know I sound terrible, but what can you do, right? Life must go on. YouTube videos must be recorded. Anyway, okay. The reason I placed this order was really for one particular plant, which I will show you last. Two of the other plants that I bought were replacements because I killed several plants lately. Too many actually. Now this one, I just loved it so much, and I was so gutted when I killed it that when I saw it, I thought I'm going to replace it. And that is this. Peperomia Sunrise. Yep, mine bit the dust. Really, it did not do well for very long. I know I overwatered it. It was before I decided to water them with the squeeze bottle and be even more sparing with water. Unfortunately, quite a few peperomias suffered because I was overwatering them, including my first Peperomia Sunrise. I have repotted it into a fast draining mix. She still looks a little sad, but not too bad actually. She seems to have coped with being repotted. I was as gentle as I could be. She is also flowering, surprisingly enough, even though it is winter tomorrow. I love this one so much that I really want to try again. And she's a very, very full plant. Look at her, just gorgeous. She's a stunner, and I'm glad I got her, and I'm really hoping I can keep her alive. Ask me in spring if I was able to keep her alive. The next plant I bought is also a replacement plant. My Calathea medallion died on me quite a while ago now. I think it was early spring, and I always wanted to replace it. However, they ended up sending me a slightly different cultivar, and that is this. Look at this thing. Isn't she gorgeous? This is the Calathea Rosiopictaillustris. Her leaves are massive. Look at that. Just gorgeous. The medallion has much, much smaller leaves, and also the lower leaves on this, and I will give you close up so you can see, they are a much darker colour. And the actual sides are, oh my goodness. Look, just gorgeous, isn't it? Now, I've just noticed she has a little bit of browning. Perhaps because she hasn't liked being shipped. I really don't know. At the moment, she's sitting in my kitchen, but I just recently put my humidifier back on, and if I notice her getting worse, then I'm going to put her next to the humidifier. She's a beauty, I must admit, especially this gorgeous dark purple on the back of her leaves. It is stunning. So even though she isn't the medallion, which I do prefer, I do think she's beautiful. I guess we will see if I can keep her alive. But so far, 2 months on, she is still going strong. She's even putting out new leaves. But they are crisping a little, so I guess we will see how she does during winter. Now the last plant I bought from Verdun Dwellings, I am completely and utterly in love with. I cannot stop staring at this plant. I absolutely adore it. I seriously think she's getting close to even beating my Monstera because she is just so gorgeous. And I won't keep you in suspense. That plant is my Homalomena, I think it's Erubescence Maggie. I actually first saw this plant at Bunnings, 18 months ago, my first spring with plants, but it wasn't in the best condition. I had accumulated a few and I decided to hold off. I didn't see it again at Bunnings, and I haven't seen it at nurseries, but I've seen it online, and she just speaks to me, this plant. The shape of her leaves, they're heart-shaped. They are slightly ridged. They are this beautiful green colour, and she has long red stems. She looks so airy and elegant, I think is the word. Like the wind is slowly blowing through her leaves. Even though she doesn't really move inside, you get that impression of movement. I just adore this plant. I am utterly obsessed with her. I cannot stop staring at her all day, every day. I had her for a while on my table where I sit and have my coffee, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just can't get over how beautiful she is. She's now sitting behind my couch and I can see her from every angle, but part of me wants to get her closer because she is just stunning. She is putting out a few new leaves. She also did have a few leaves yellow, which I kind of expected because of being cold weather and being shipped. But she seems to have bounced back, and I'm hoping that she'll do fine. I know that my Homalomena camouflage is doing very well in my home, and I'm hoping the same with her. She also does start to droop when she wants some water, just like my camouflage, and I love that. I love that she speaks to me and tells me when she wants some water. I really hope I can keep her alive during winter. It's been just under 2 months, and so far, so good. And I have to admit, it is not often that I fall that hard for a plant like I have for this one. I just adore her. Let me know if you think I'm crazy to be so in love with this plant, but hey, why not, right? We're plant lovers. That's what we do. We love our plants, even if it sometimes borders on obsession. Okay, if I forgot to say it before, I will put all of Verdun Dwellings details in my description box below, together with the names of the plants and the prices. The Maggie was very reasonably priced. Hell, I would have paid a lot more for that if I'd realised how much I would love her in my home. Anyway, okay, the very last plant that I bought was when I went to visit Westlake Nursery again. I wanted to get a few more pots, wander around through the plants, and I ended up just buying one plant because I had seen it before and I thought it was so adorable. And that is this. Yes, a peperomia. You're not shocked, right? It is a Peperomia turboensis or red watermelon peperomia. Look at these gorgeous leaves. They're a greyish colour or a greyish green colour. The backs have a little bit of red to them, not a lot, but I'm not giving her highlight at the moment, so that might be why. She's putting out a little bit of growth. I repotted her immediately. I'm starting to do that with all my peperomias because I don't trust the mix that they're in, and they always have that plug and mesh around their roots. So I freed her of that. She's recovered. She has little baby leaves growing, which is so cute. And so far, she's doing okay. I think I've had her at least a month and a half, and I haven't killed her yet. And hopefully I won't. Apparently these can climb as well as trail, but she's still a baby. I also bought this little pot from Westlake Nursery with a tray. I just love that they come with trays. It's not my favourite colour, but it suits the plant. She's gorgeous, isn't she? And she appeals to me a lot more than the watermelon peperomia because I love the markings on her leaves. I love the darker colouring and slight veining that they have. Plus the red backing is really cute. So that is the last plant that I have hauled in the last 2 months. I know I also promised you guys a plant tour, which I have been trying to film for 2 months now, but unfortunately I can't do it by myself, and I have not had regular carers to help me with the filming, so I haven't even finished filming it yet, let alone editing. So it's going to have to wait, I'm afraid. But I haven't forgotten, and I will do the tour as soon as I can. Okay, well that is all I have for you guys today. You know I want to hear which one of my new plants is your favourite. The Maggie is for me, definitely. Yeah, that one is definitely first. And then it is probably my ZZ because it's just so cute. I have a thing for small plants. I do love them. Maybe because they're just so adorable. And the colouring on this, seriously. Yeah, gorgeous. But then I also love my Shiveriana and of course my Peperomia Sunrise and the Aglaonmea. I love them all as usual. Of course I do, because I wouldn't have bought them otherwise, right? But I won't deny it, and I know I probably shouldn't say it in front of my monster, but I just am completely and utterly in love with the Maggie. Anyway, let me know which one is your favourite, and you can put it down in the comments, or you can let me know on Instagram. Thank you as always to all of you for hanging out with me and letting me ramble on and on and on about one of my favourite things, plants. And if you enjoyed this video, you can do the usual thing. You can like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye! To show you exactly what I did get, I can recall the next one though. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. Or I will put all the Verdun Dwellings. I'll link it somewhere in the description. I wanted to.